See right there. Mess. Too messy. Too messy, and it doesn't have to be. Hey everybody, it's me, Ellery, and I am back with my recap and review of episode 2 from season 4 of Insecure. So if you're interested in my recap and my review, make sure that you stick around and stay tuned. Don't forget, while you're here, okay? Turn on your notifications after you subscribe so you don't miss any notifications from me. Yeah. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta grow up. Carry on. All right, everybody. So episode 2 of season 4 of Insecure just aired, and yeah, starting to remember why I hate the fact that it's 30 minutes long. At least unlike shows on other networks, at least this is a full like 30, almost 35 minutes worth of content. Because I could, oh my gosh, could y'all imagine if this was on like any other network and it had commercials? I would just be like, I don't even want it. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into my recap. I'm gonna give you all the quick and dirty version. FYI, spoil alert. So if you haven't seen the episode, make sure you watch that first and then come back and check in on my recap and my review and let me know your thoughts. All right, so the episode kicked off. Again, we are 3 months ahead of the block party. We see Condola and Issa walking down the street, and Issa's like, I want the stage here, I want this there and that. So she's kind of just painting out the whole idea of how she would like the block party to be set up. And then they kind of address the Lawrence in the room. Next, we see that Drew and Molly are still talking and they went out to eat. They had a really, really great night because they ended up getting a groove on. But Molly's kind of feeling like they're not really connected. It's like, yeah, we hang out, we have a good time. I don't just want it to be like all about sex. I want us to kind of have a relationship because she's already admitted to the fact that she likes him now. So I'm not completely like against Molly for wanting to build up a little bit more connection to him. Then we see the girls all get together for Halloween. Molly ends up telling everybody that her and Drew did the do, which by everybody, I just mean Issa. She was the only one who apparently did not know, which kind of shows us again that they're not as close as they used to be, because also Issa tells everybody like she decided on who she wants to be the headliner for her block party, and Molly was like, oh man, like I kind of feel like I'm being left out, and she's like, no, we'll catch up. The catch up doesn't really end up happening. Next, we see Condola and Lawrence actually out to eat, and she was like, haha, me and Issa were talking about you about this. Pump your brakes. Lawrence did not like that. Now, instead of saying the fact that he didn't like that, of course, he goes and he talks to his boys. We know that never goes over pretty well because the two of them are just all over the place themselves. And so he gets some advice from them, which kind of didn't completely disagree with their advice, but I definitely think that it's something that Lawrence should kind of tread lightly on. Issa and TSA Boo are still getting it on. They actually lose the condom in the process of it. Yeah, we just go skip all past that, which we find out at the end that she says she feels like she needs to cut him off. I agree, Issa. It's probably time to let him go. Molly and Issa actually had like a dinner date, or they were supposed to hang out. She was there with Condola, and then she ends up inviting Condola to stay. We see that Molly kind of felt some type of way about that, but you can just kind of tell that it was like, I thought this was just supposed to be me and Issa. We all got a friend like that. And if you don't, you're probably the friend. Just saying. Next, Lawrence ends up taking the advice from his friends, and he actually decides to pull up on Issa and have a conversation with her. It was very kind. I thought it was a very honest conversation. And Issa was like, you know what, you're right. It's cool. Then we actually find out that Lawrence is not his real name. It's actually his middle name. But hey, we're gonna leave that where that's at. Next thing, we see Molly and Andrew get together for dinner at her house, and in typical Molly fashion, she jumps the gun too fast. She kind of speaks out of pocket, which she normally does, versus just saying how she feels. And it kind of rubbed Andrew the wrong way. He ends up leaving. Issa and Molly have been getting together for self-care Sundays. And that's what they do again, but this time they go hiking. Molly's kind of telling her everything that's going on with Andrew. And Issa ends up saying to her this time, because we know last episode it ended with Molly telling her like life doesn't have to be this messy. I think you kind of like this stuff. Well, this episode, Issa tells her, it seems like you always trying to find a problem with things. She was like, aren't you tired? Because I'm tired for you. And I guess that kind of struck a chord with Molly, mainly because Andrew also said something along those lines at the same time. But then coming from your friend, it's like, dang, like, you know, kind of the same way Issa felt, I would assume she felt in the last episode when Molly said what she says. But the funny thing that happens is that Andrew actually calls and he apologizes for storming out and not like opening up to Molly. He says he has a really hard time opening up to people. Anyways, and he does understand like he does want to open up with her. It's just gonna take a little bit of time. But the last thing was she took this call while she was hiking with Issa. So Issa's like, oh, who was that on the phone? And she was like, just some work stuff. So now it's like she's lying or withholding stuff from Issa. And it's like, why would you do that when this is supposed to be your best friend? So again, another indication that their relationship is just not exactly where it needs to be. But yeah, that was my recap. Again, I thought tonight's episode was great. I think they do a great job of telling everybody's stories and giving enough like input or I don't know, giving just enough context about the different characters to where you're like, okay, this could be happening with this person and this might be happening with this person and what's going on over here. So I absolutely love that, and I thought that the episode was great. It wasn't like blow my socks off like the season premiere, because I thought the season premiere was really, really good. But I thought that it still did a good job of just kind of setting up some things that are going to happen. Again, like I said last week, I'm still just disappointed in Molly because it just seems like she's just like every time she takes 2 steps forward, she just regresses. And sometimes it feels like she does it. It's not only that she doesn't see, it's not exactly that she always sees a problem in something. I think more than anything is that she doesn't take accountability for anything or like see where she went wrong. Like, yes, Andrew apologized for storming out or whatever, because yes, we're adults. Use your words. But it feels like in that conversation where she was just like, I want to date somebody with some substance or whatever. It was like, you're telling me I don't have substance and that's not what's happening here. All she could have said was like, she could have worded it better. Like say how you feel instead of trying to project your feelings onto him and then making it his fault when he doesn't do what you want him to do. I feel like I just preached to the choir. Not the point. So that was the thing that kind of annoyed me, which we honestly kind of saw the same thing at work. You know, she kind of just like, I don't know, it's like she does this fake thing, just like when he was like, oh, I'm dating other people. You could have said then how you felt instead of getting in your feelings and then kind of like pushing him away. That whole thing, I'm kind of like tired of that. So again, what Issa said wasn't wrong. Just like what Molly said wasn't wrong to Issa. Also, I really don't like how like Issa like fondles over Condola. Like it's weird. Like I get that she's a wonderful person. I get that she's pouring into you. I get that she believes in you. I get all of that. I really do. I completely understand it because, you know, sometimes it feels like Issa, especially like the last season, the end of season 2, season 3, it's like she's the butt of the joke sometimes. It's like everybody has something going on for them. They're doing good. They're great, whatever. And she just kind of like, oh, it's Issa. And or maybe they don't take her seriously, which I think I said that last week. But so I understand that. But then it's also like weird how like she's just like, oh my God, like she told Lawrence, like, I love Condola. It's like, okay, like I think for me, it's like, I think she needs to find a healthy balance between her and Condola because there's such a strong denominator, which is Lawrence, between them, and things can go south. So let something happen between them and Condola's like, well, you know, Lawrence, what do you think I'm tripping, right? She gives advice, it doesn't go right. Condola might think maybe you're trying to sabotage my relationship with Lawrence. And then there's another scene where she actually calls him and was like, hey, does Condola know that you and I met here or whatever? It's not that deep. It's just, it's messy. It's really messy. So I would love for her to just find a healthy balance for her and Condola, because yeah, it could go wrong really quickly. So what Molly said to Issa was not wrong, and I think what Issa said to Molly wasn't wrong either. I just really hope that Molly and Issa can get their stuff together, because nobody ever likes to see friends break up. It's like Joan and Tony. You know, I'm not ready for it. I'm really not. They need to find their ways back to each other. But yeah. Truthfully, I'm just ready. I think, what's his name? Nathan or Nathaniel? Whatever. Uber Bay. I'm ready for Uber Bay to pop back up, because I know he's still lurking in the shadows. He's somewhere out there, and I'm really ready for him to pop back up. And then, of course, just to kind of see what's going to happen with the block party. Just ready to get there. So that's all I have for my recap and my review of episode 2 of Insecure season 4. Let me know your thoughts. Leave me some comments below. Do you feel the same way I feel about Molly? Okay. Or am I just tripping? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Leave me some comments below. Again, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and do so. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss any videos from me. All right, guys. Until next week. Bye.